In this video, I'm going to cover some important abilities that you should probably unlock just for slaying or bossing whatever other gameplay you're doing, just killing monsters. Tuskers Wrath is a basic constitution ability that deals 10,000% of your slayer level against your active slayer target, giving it a 2-minute cooldown. When used against a target that isn't your slayer task, it deals 110% of your weapon damage with a 15-second cooldown. Tuskers Wrath is a super strong ability that's part of many of the strongest revolution bars. Tuskers Wrath can be purchased for 4,000 reward currency from the Anima Islands Distraction and Diversion. It's pretty easy to max out your points each game. Keeping this in mind, it'll take a minimum of 4 games to unlock the ability. Each game takes 20 minutes, so it'll take an hour and 20 minutes to unlock this ability. The Anima Islands Distraction and Diversion consists of 4 different islands that you need to max out your contribution in order to get all of the points per game. The first island I'm going to cover is the Lightning Storm. On this one, all you have to do is construct the pylons over and over until you max out your contribution to this island. The next island I'm going over is the Broken Land. On this island, you will end up on an agility course with rune stones on each of the 4 segments. All you have to do is run around the agility course and charge the active rune stone as much as possible. The third island is the Lost Souls Island. There will be a tentacle that spawns other tentacles and a fire on this island. You have to take a torch from the fire and attack the tentacles until your torch burns out. The torch attacks will affect a 3x3 area, so try to always be hitting as many tentacles as possible. Then just go back and forth between the fire and attacking the tentacles every time your torch runs out until you're done with the contribution on this island. The last island is the Overgrown Remnants. There will be attackable tentacles and cuttable vines on this island. Killing the tentacles or chopping the vines gives you mysterious herbs. Click on the herbs in your inventory to grind them into a powder. This powder will be used to nurture the roots growing off of the tree in the center. When a root reaches one of the pods, it'll grow into its own tree. Take the seed off the tree and turn it into the center tree. You need to do this a total of 4 times to max out your contribution on this island. Assuming you maxed out your contributions on all the islands, you'll receive your 1,000 reward currency. Sacrifice is a basic constitution ability that deals up to 100% weapon damage and heals 25% of the damage dealt. If this ability kills the target, it'll heal 100% of the damage dealt with a 30-second cooldown. It's also part of many revolution bars and can be manually activated to take advantage of the healing. Devotion is a threshold defensive ability that makes your protection prayers 100% effective or 75% effective in PvP for 10 seconds. Killing a target extends the duration by 5 seconds for a maximum of 20 seconds. This ability comes in handy at many bosses and even in some general slaying. These abilities are unlocked the same way. They're a reward from the Anima Islands Distraction and Diversion also, just like Tuskers Wrath, for 3,500 Anima each. To unlock them this way would take 2 hours and 20 minutes to get both, but I personally have never done it this way. They are also a rare drop from enemies in the Armadillo and Bandos encampment in God War's Dungeon, and from Kriara and General Grador themselves. This method is usually quicker than playing the minigame. I've never had to camp for these abilities, I've always gotten them just doing trips at these bosses. I've also heard that if you go onto a loot share world and turn on loot share, that will increase the chances of getting these drops. You will know you've gotten the abilities when you see in your chat box, Sacrifice or Devotion has been unlocked. Smoke, Shadow, and Blood Tendrils are all slightly different with the damage they deal and the time period that they deal this damage over, but the idea is the same. These are all threshold abilities that deal damage to your target multiple times over a period of time and damage the user as well. They all have a 45-second cooldown. In my experience when soul splitting, the damage done to the user over time from these abilities is negligible. To unlock all of the variants, make your way to the exam center after the dig site quest and talk to Terrence Belando, the archaeological expert, and read the Codex Ultimatus that he gives you. This codex also unlocks the Ice Asylum Ultimate Constitution ability, which summons a crystal that when within the proximity will heal anybody for 1 to 7% of their maximum health every 3.6 seconds, lasting for 22.2 seconds with a 5-minute cooldown. This ability isn't used all that much, especially when you unlock the Enhanced Excalibur or Guthix's Blessing. Sunshine and Death Swiftness are essentially the same ability, but Sunshine is for magic and Death Swiftness is for ranged. They are ultimate abilities that lay down an area that if you stand in your magic or ranged will be boosted by 50% for 30 seconds. If your target stands in the ability's range, it'll be hit for 10 to 20% weapon damage every 2 seconds. They both have a 60-second cooldown. They are unlocked the same way as a reward from the World Wakes quest. Upon completion, the abilities will be unlocked along with Guthix's Blessing. Guthix's Blessing is a Constitution ultimate that will heal you for 8% of your total health every 2 seconds over 10 seconds, totaling 40% of your maximum health. Keep in mind, the butterfly has 1 HP and can be killed. If it's killed, you will not receive the rest of the healing that you may not have received yet. Guthix's Blessing is a convenient ability for some healing comparable to Rejuvenate, which heals the same health over the same time, but requires a shield to be equipped. Corruption Blast and Corruption Shot are essentially the same ability for magic and range respectively. There are basic abilities that deal 100 to 300% weapon damage over 6 seconds. This damage will spread to unaffected enemies. Basically, they are your 2 most powerful basics and will spread to other enemies that are close enough. These abilities are the reason it's so easy to get kill count in God Wars Dungeon 2, and why the Abyss is such good XP for magic and ranged. They are both unlocked through a Mazcab ability codex or 15,000 techie. Keep in mind, each Mazcab ability codex is a one-use thing, so you'll need 2 to unlock both. The Constitution ultimate ability Onslaught is also unlocked through Mazcab ability codexes or techie. Onslaught channels 33 to 150% of your weapon damage to your target. Each channel adds 33% weapon damage to the max hit and takes 25% adrenaline. If you run out of adrenaline while channeling it, it'll begin to damage you for 25% of the damage dealt, adding 1000 base damage past 10 hits. Basically, this ability does an absolute ton of damage but is risky to use. Generally, it's used to finish off a boss, and I only personally use it at racks from time to time. This one is less important to get than Corruption Blast and Corruption Shot in my opinion. These abilities are just some of the important ones that I feel that you should unlock. There are obviously some that I missed in this video, however I may cover them in a later video. Anyways, thanks for watching.